Hey, what's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me on this series where I am setting out to just bring some color back into my wardrobe. As you can see, I love being in black t-shirts and neutral colored clothes, whites, grays, blacks, nudes. Like, that is my color palette. But I thought, you know what? Let us welcome spring into into my life, into my wardrobe. Let's bring some color, let's bring some, something different. So in the month of October, I set out to just sew a bunch of different types of things that I don't typically wear in the colors that I don't typically wear. And you know what? They came out quite good. So make sure that you grab your coffee, your tea, if you just want to sit down and watch me do my thing, or if you want to chit chat with me whilst I sew some of the garments, or grab your fabric, your sewing machine, and let's make stuff together. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to follow me at KateDeco on Instagram, and I will see you in a bit. In this episode, I'll be showing you how to make this simple yet elegant and very beginner-friendly dress. If it is your first time getting into the world of sewing, then this is your garment that you want to make. It's very simple, very easy and quick to put together, and it also makes use of stretch material, which is quite nice to sew with because it's easier to hide sewing mistakes with stretch material than it is with non-stretch material. So grab your fabric, grab your sewing machine, and let's get sewing. Make sure that the fabric that you buy has at least a two-way stretch. Mine is a four-way stretch in this lovely dusty pink color. I got 1.5 meters of this fabric. You can ignore the sleeves that you see that I thought I was going to use, but what you are going to need is a front piece. We will make some alterations a bit later, but this is what it looks like with a V-neck cut, as well as a back piece. Again, I just traced the clothes that I already have to get this pattern. The first step is grabbing your front and back pieces, laying them right sides together and sewing them at the shoulder seams with a straight stitch. Now, I love working with stretch fabrics because stretch is very forgiving. There's a lot of room for error as compared to non-stretch fabrics where you need to be a bit more precise in the type of cut that you make. So stretch is always good for beginners if you're starting out, because you can more or less make anything you want and still have it look great with very little to worry about. Step 2, sew down the entire side seam of the dress. Step 3, cut a slit down the center of your front piece to make sure that the slit is straight. What you can do is just fold your garment in half, and on that fold, that is where you're going to make the cut. Now, using that long strip that you cut out, you want to lay that flat on your neckline, and as you're sewing it down right sides facing, make sure that you pull on that strip whilst gliding your fabric through the sewing machine. This will then act as a hem sort of to your neckline and give it a very clean finish. So once you sew that on, what you're going to do next is sew the part of the fabric with that hem to your seam allowance, and this will help it to just lay completely flat when you wear it. Now your dress is almost ready to be completed. As you can see, what I am doing here is sewing down that slit that we just cut open with a ribbon stitch. And what a ribbon stitch is when you choose the smallest width of a zigzag stitch and sew it through your fabric whilst pulling your fabric quite taut. And this creates that sort of ribbony effect. I hope I explained that right, but that's essentially what it looks like and how I sew down the slits, the sleeves. Make sure to cut the slits as high as you would like it to go. You could always come back and sew it down if you think you cut it a bit too high, but it's always nice to just make sure that you cut it exactly how high up you wanted the slit to be. And once you've done that, your dress is complete. This is very beginner friendly, very easy to make. And if your dress is too loose, you can always just take in the side seams to make it your perfect fit.